Hi everyone, Sarah here. I have a card to share with you today and I have the whole process that I'm going through. I'm starting off with a Crafter's Workshop stencil called Aspen Trees, and I just have it taped down over my cardstock and I'm using Distress ink. Starting off with the darkest, the Chip Sapphire, and I'm just using the round foam Tim Holtz applicators and smooshing it in gently because there is a lot of small finicky pieces to this stencil and I don't really want to break them, and I don't use spray adhesive or anything to attach them. I just use painter's tape, so I'm carefully sponging it down. And then I'm moving along to my mid-tone, which is the Faded Jeans, and just blending it in along that line and bringing it down a little bit more. I do twist the applicator a tiny bit just to help push the color in there. You just do have to be very careful. Some of those stencils are pretty delicate. And then the next color is, actually I'm just adding in more Chip Sapphire there. I noticed a few spots that weren't solid colors. And then the Mermaid Lagoon. I really love this color. So happy when it came out. So I'm just adding that to the bottom and blending it up. And then I will go back in with Faded Jeans to blend down a little bit. But I'm doing it nice and thick to get a very solid color. Okay, and then you can just carefully peel it off. I did clean the stencil afterwards with baby wipes. But that is your finished look. And then I did dry it just a touch with my heat tool because the next step I wanted to make sure that the ink wasn't wet. On my next step, I am just adding in some highlights with Copic markers. So I'm using N1 and N2 just to shade the side of the tree just very lightly. This isn't Copic coloring paper, so it does not blend very well, but I just did not want them to be just stark white. So I'm adding in some lines, just kind of like from the birch bark type look. And I just go over with the N1 and then I go back in with the N2, and I do use a blender pen just a little bit. I did cut this part short for you guys though because it was quite a lot. Okay, so I actually already started coloring this snowman and I kind of forgot what my plan was last night before I went to bed. So I'm just going to kind of start over again here. I have my C1 and my C2 and I have my colorless blender, but I was using originally just the pen, but I remembered last night that I was going to use the refill and my little piece of face cloth so that I could get some little dimple textures. So I'm going to start over again. What I was doing the C2 around the edges, and I'm not worried about lines because I am cutting this guy out. Everything is going to be fussy cut to go on the card. And then I'm going to bring it out with the C2 to blend it out a little bit more, because I don't want him to be dirty. He's a snowman. I like white snowmen, but okay. And then I'm just going to do the top part here, give him some cheeks. And I never know if that is supposed to be, because I always think of corn. I was thinking corn cob in my head. I always think of carrot noses. Okay, so I'm going to take my little piece of face cloth, and you want one that's kind of rough because you want the little pilly edges. And then I have my colorless blender. I'm just going to pour some on there, and then you want to just move it around by squishing it up. And then you're just going to take it and pounce it in to your marker. Filming! Sorry about that. Just wanted to put some more on. I didn't get too much on the first time. Super cool. So it looks a little wet, but as it dries, you'll see the dimpled texture in there, which is awesome for snow. All right, we'll be back. Okay, now on to coloring the images. For the birds, I decided to do little bluebirds. So I'm using B12 and B32. Just want to double check. Yeah, B32 is actually the lighter of those two colors. And as I was coloring it, it didn't look as light as what's on my chart. So I'm not sure if my marker got messed up in when I was charting them, but it still turned out cute. So again, B32 is the base color, B12 is the shadow. Just very simple coloring for these guys. They're just little birdies. And then I did add in R00 for their cheeks. And I did decide at that point to add some R00 to the snowman's cheeks. And I did use a blender pen to just blend his out a little bit. Didn't want them too bright. And then for the reds, throughout all the images, I used the same 3 red colors. I used R05, R08, and R39. You just do have to be very careful when you're coloring with the reds, as they do tend to bleed. I decided to give them little red hats and red scarves. And then for the snowman, I gave him a turquoise scarf. Cleaning up a little bit of lines there. I did use the C1 and the C2 and the colorless blender, just with a little bit of dot technique on the white portions of their hats, just to give a little bit of shading. And then I realized I didn't have any colors picked out for their beaks, and I wanted to put an orange color on there. So I grabbed YR18 just from my markers off to the side, and then realized that that looked a lot like the red. So I grabbed Y17 just to go over top of it a little bit, and that helped blend the YR18 out. So then just moving up along to the hat, did the red berries again, R05, R08, and R39. And then on to the green part for the little holly leaves. I used G07 and G28. And then I gave the hat a turquoise band to match his scarf. For that I'm using FBG2, it's one of the fluorescent colors, and BG07. I like how these two colors blend. You're able to do a lot of shading with just the two markers on these ones. So then for the hat, I used the toner grays, the T5, T8, and T10. This combination works really well because when you get to the T5 at the end, it gives a nice soft blend between all those colors. And then use the same colors for the little pieces of coal on the snowman. I didn't do perfect blending for this because I wanted them to look a little choppy. And I realized after that I forgot to color his eyes, so I did just cover those in with T10. The sticks for the hands, I did color them in with E27 and E29. Just simple shading. Really didn't have to worry about staying in the lines because I cut them out, but pretty proud of myself for that. So that is it for the coloring. Stay tuned for the putting together of the card. Okay, so we're going to put this card together. I have all my pieces ready to go. I'm using a 5.5 by 5.5 craft Recollections card base from Michaels. This is the navy blue cardstock, also from Michaels, and then I have my white paper. I use Staples just for plain white paper. So I have these mats all cut out for the front, and I use Scotch Quick Dry liquid glue. It's just what I'm used to. You can use tape runner, whichever, but it's just what I like to use. Okay, so there's that, and I'm going to attach this to the front of the card. And I have the same mats to go on the inside of the card also. There we go. Okay, and I have trimmed down my background piece that I made with the Distress Inks. And I did spray it with Lindy's Stamp Gang Scintillating Silver. It's my favorite glitter spray. I just wanted to have the illusion of it that it's snowing, so you can see it's like in splotches and stuff. I just sprayed the whole piece. And then I did cut out some of the Landscape Trio for snowbanks using the Mama Elephant Creative Cuts, this one here. And this is just on the white cardstock, and I did spray it with Scintillating Silver also. And then I stamped it with this Let It Snow. And this is from CC Designs Winter Chuckles. This is one that I purchased last year. I used the Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. And then In the Meadow, We Can Build a Snowman is what I stamped on the inside of the card. So this one is just going to go on with glue. I think the reason why I use liquid glue like this, I am in Southern Ontario, so we have a lot of humidity, and I find double-sided sticky tape tends to, if it's something that you're going to keep forever, it tends to dry out and then your pieces come unstuck. So that is why I use Scotch Quick Dry. Press it this way to make sure it's nice and flat. So pretty. Okay. And then I have all my little pieces all fussy cut out here. The hat, you need to get out your craft knife and follow the lines in the hat to cut the slit, and that's so you can slide it onto his head. It's adorable. He's such a cute little snowman. And I cut out the bird's feet pretty much because I'm going to have them in the trees anyways, so they're going to be up there like that. Alright, so I'm going to put the snowbank on first. And I'm not really using too much dimensional on this, especially the background. My dimension is going to be the birds and the snowman. I think. I'm not sure about the snowman yet. So there's one snowbank. I just got a new bottle of this glue, so it's super runny. Okay, there's my other snowbank. Beautiful. My snowman is going to go right in there. The cutouts that I just followed the lines of him because he does have a little bit of a snowbank underneath him, but it kind of fits nicely between there. So, never know if I should use his arms or not. just don't want them to get stuck on something and fall off. So I don't know. Let me do this first. I'm going to glue his hat on, just adding a little bit of glue to the back of his head here. I'm going to get out my foam tape. Alright. Make that a little bit smaller. That piece there. Oh, I'm going to put a piece on his other scarf there. Little blue paper sticking to me. Alright, there's my gorgeous snowman. Pretty just like that, but I'm going to add in some birds. I cut their feet off also, so I'm just going to stick that one in there. And this one up here. So cute. Okay, so you let me know what you think. Hands or no hands? And if I put the hands in, do I do them flat? Glue them down so they don't get stuck to anything. I think that's what I would have to do. So, let me know and I will do up the inside. And that is it. Leave a comment, subscribe, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.